This section deals with the relation between Japan, the two Koreas, and Russia. These three relations have been uneasy, marked by historical and territorial disputes. Therefore, domestic factors and nationalism played an important role. In the relations with the two Koreas, historical resentment is strong. The Korean Peninsula was under Japanese colonization for 35 years, from 1910 to 1945. Korea still considers that it did not receive an adequate compensation or reparation for wartime labor and for the so-called comfort women. The comfort women were Korean women who were enrolled as prostitutes for the Japanese Imperial Army. There is also a territorial dispute over the islands called Takeshima by the Japanese and Dokdo by the Koreans and located in the Sea of Japan. With Russia, the dispute over the northern territories, as the Japanese call them, or the South Koreas from the Russian, prevented the conclusion of a peace treaty so far. Finally, we will see that in the three relations, Japan has, at some point, deviated from the US diplomatic line, mostly for domestic reasons. So North Korea, there is no formal diplomatic relation so far. The normalization of the relations would come with a huge amount of economic assistance from Japan in lieu of wartime reparations. The relations have, of course, been marked by the development of the North Korean nuclear and ballistic program. As you can see on the graph and on the map, North Korea has multiplied the launching of missiles in recent years. And Japan is really at the front line. Thus, North Korea is seen as an immediate security threat in Japan. Another important issue is the question of the abduction by North Korea of dozens of Japanese nationals in late 70s, beginning of the 80s. 17 cases have been documented so far. Some of the victims were abducted to teach Japanese languages to North Korean spies. There are certainly more abductees from Japan, but North Korea consistently refused to disclose all the details. In 2002 and 2004, the Prime Minister Koizumi traveled twice to Pyongyang to meet with Kim Jong-il. He returned to Japan with 5 abductees and their families. This was a great diplomatic success. This issue is very emotional, and Tokyo makes it a priority in its relation with North Korea, even before the nuclear issue. That's why, even if Tokyo has participated in various frameworks regarding the denuclearization, it did not play a central role. With Donald Trump deciding to meet with Kim Jong-un back in 2018, without prior consultation with Japan, Tokyo has been further marginalized. With South Korea, the normalization of relations happened in 1965, and Japan became an important provider of economic aid. Tokyo also soon became the first trading partner of Seoul. However, the political relations remain complicated because of the historical issues regarding the colonization and war, as well as the territorial dispute. Since last year, Japan and South Korea imposed economic sanctions to each other, reflecting the tense atmosphere in the relationship. Despite the tensions, Japan and South Korea are both allied to the US and have strengthened their security cooperation in recent years. Washington played an important role to press its allies to come to an agreement that was supposed to settle the comfort woman issue in 2015. This agreement allowed for an expanded military cooperation in front of North Korea with the signing of the GSOMIA in 2016, the GSOMIA being an intelligence sharing pact. However, the current Moon Jae-in administration threatened to end the GSOMIA and contested the legitimacy of the Comfort Women Agreement. In Japan, what is called the Korea fatigue is a strong break to further political cooperation with its neighbor. With Russia, the territorial issue has prevented the signature of a peace treaty so far. Japan requests the return of the 4 islands north of Hokkaido that came under Russian control in 1945. The normalization of the relations happened in 1956, and since then the relations have been marked by many attempts to solve this delicate issue. The negotiation process significantly accelerated under Shinzo Abe. Abe met up with Putin dozens of times to build trust and reach a breakthrough. His approach was based on providing more economic cooperation to Russia as a kind of gesture of goodwill to favor a political deal. Abe's efforts were meant to get the islands back, of course, but also more strategically to get closer to Russia and prevent the buildup of a Sino-Russian front vis-à-vis Tokyo.